Okay, so yeah, the recording is on. So just want to welcome you all. Welcome to Psych 6233 course. Just want to give you a bit background about myself. I'm not sure if you had a chance to review my bio. So just about myself, like my name is Dr. Rahul Jain, and I would like to acknowledge that I'm based on the traditional unceded territory of Shakopnik people. So I'm in Kamloops, BC, and I reside here with my wife and my 22 months old son, almost 2 years old. So in terms of work, so I'm an adjunct professor in the MSCP program. I'm also a full-time professor in the School of Health Sciences. And as well as on the side, I'm also doing some clinical work. So that's about my clinical work, and I have almost 10 years of experience in specifically mental health. In terms of my current project, so I'm doing a research. I do research as well. So I'm looking at the BC Indigenous healthcare workers, how COVID has impacted them, and what strategies we can come up to support them. So that work is in progress, and hopefully my team and I will be done end of September. That's our goal. I'm also working on a couple of publications with my other colleague. So what we are looking at in this publication is like I will be sharing my experiences of teaching students during COVID-19, how we help them during COVID-19, setting up practicum. Also, see, MSCP is like it's virtually, right? But then if you notice during COVID pandemic, we have to change our format. So it was quite difficult for our university, our students, because the other university where I work with is like face to face. So that's my other article is on like, sharing our experiences as faculty members and students' experiences and how and what strategies we can implement in future. So that's the other project I'm working on. And then I just took a break. I'm also an exam writer, so I write content for the exam. But given I'm busy in some of those projects, I put it on a pause. So that's about me. And I thought maybe let's have a like virtual meet and greet just to get to know you. Uh, Another option I had just to record it, but I thought like maybe just put a face and just talk to you guys and just get to know you. So that's about me. I know we're a small group here today. It's Friday evening. It's my fault. I should have scheduled on some other day. So what I'm gonna do is like maybe if you guys want to introduce yourself, just briefly about what you do, what are you hoping to do in future, where you're from, and or whatever that makes you feel comfortable.
Okay, I can start. So yeah, I'm Maria. I am from Colombia. I came to Canada 4.5 years ago with my fiance and his family. I'm doing this program because I want to become a registered psychotherapist. I would like to work with newcomers. I think that's a population I really would like to work with them because I feel like connect with so many experiences that maybe they can also like be experimenting right now. So that's something that motivates me. And also I would like to work maybe in the future with people with a cancer diagnosis. I've had some like personal experiences like in my family and my fiance's family as well. So I think that's also a topic that it connects with me a lot. So I think I would really like to support families and people that has a cancer diagnosis. Yeah, my family is in Colombia. I miss them so much. I look forward for the day that I can actually go to Colombia and meet them again. It's been like difficult being far from them, but I'm hopeful for the future. And yeah, that's it.
Great. Thank you, Maria. Yeah, thanks, Maria. Thanks for the introduction and welcome. Like it's been 4 years, but yeah, it's still like, just getting to know people. And I think it's important. We need counselors in each and every field, like just not like, mental health. And as a newcomer yourself, your lived experiences are quite valuable and how you can support newcomers. Obviously, when they come, they don't know, like, is there any other language that you speak?
I speak Spanish.
Or you speak Spanish? Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
good. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be wonderful. And like we are in British Columbia, so if you miss Columbia, you can come to British Columbia for a visit.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Great, thank you. So who would
You.
like to go next?
I'll go. Hi everyone, I'm Chelsea. So I'm from Vancouver Island originally. I grew up there, but I just moved to Mackenzie about 6 years ago. It's a small town, northern BC, 2 hours north of Prince George. So I moved here with my husband and my twin sister because our parents were living here first. So we just moved up here to be closer to them and get a full-time teaching job. So yeah, I've been here the past 6 years teaching elementary school, so grade 2, 3. And I've taught abroad a little bit as well, South Korea and Guatemala for a few years before that. And then I'm just hoping to counsel in the schools when I finish this program. So yeah, just a little bit of a career change, but I think I want to stick in the schools when I'm done. That's me.
Great, thanks, Chelsea. Yeah, so I actually Prince George, where I started my career. So like I know Mackenzie so close, and then I have some students like in my program, MSW program, who are from Mackenzie.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, it's like I'm so much familiar with Northern BC. I've lived in Smithers, Fort St. John, uh, and then in Kelowna, Kamloops. They are mid-sized cities, right? Maria, you might not know, but like they're small and they're pretty warm. Like Kamloops is like I think it's 36 degrees right now. So
Yeah.
so it gets super hot, but then I like this warm weather. So yeah, Chelsea, I've seen that like this transition school teachers have done.
Mhm.
I have supervised some, I taught some. So I think that's a good transition at some point in your career where you would like to be a counselor, school counselor, supporting children and youth. So that's wonderful and welcome to this course. I do hope this course meets your expectations and yeah, feel free to reach out to me. I'm available via email if you have any questions.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. So last person in this group today is Brianna.
Hi, everyone.
All right.
So yeah, I live on Vancouver Island right now, and I've spent the majority of my life here. And yeah, I've had the chance to live abroad in some different places like New Zealand and Central America. But yeah, I always kind of find myself coming back to the island. And so currently I work for the health authority here in like an administrative role, but before that I worked as a hiking guide in BC and Alberta for a number of years, and worked in like guiding education as well. So I have like a real interest in teaching. And then even before that, I worked on mental health teams in Victoria mostly. And so I've had a pretty like varied experience, but together those things in my mind make sense. There's like something about being with people in these really intense settings that yeah, so I think that's kind of informing like where I want to go. I'd like to, I think, work with youth, which is what I did a lot with in guiding, but then from that like mental health perspective in an outdoor setting if possible. So yeah.
Great. Great. Thanks, Maria. Yeah, that's wonderful. You have got varied experience. And I think, uh, certainly, right, there are some programs like outreach programs, not specifically mental health related, but there's some programs where they have seen the improvement in young people when the young people are spending time outdoor and learning those skills. So I think as you had experienced in hiking, and as one of your jobs, maybe that might help, like linking youth with mindfulness, right? Or health wise. The so I think that's a good path. And then with children and youth, I think it's very important because we are so short staffed, as Chelsea might know, as a school teacher, that the counseling services are lacking counselors, right? And even in the community. So that's good. Like at least you both will be almost supporting young people, and then Maria, you are there to support newcomers. So that's the beauty of our counseling is like we can go in different fields. Great, thank you. So in this meet and greet, I'll keep it very brief. I'll just keep it very informal. I'm not doing a PowerPoint presentation. It's just a meeting to go over the things that you may have already gone over. So just to give you a little bit prompt about, okay, this is the assignment, this is the discussion board. So, and then if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm gonna share my screen here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna share my whole screen. Okay, perfect. So so this is the course, and you all know about this course bulletin because most of the important informations will be posted here in course bulletin. So please do check it on a regular basis. Although you will receive a notification via email. So in course bulletin, I have been posting. If you do not have a chance to review, please feel free to review it. And this is not just for 3 of you who are attending this. I'm just talking about all the students in general. So please do. I have an option to pin a post, and sometimes I do pin. So if you look at this discussion forum here, some things might be missed if you're just focusing on the pin. So for example, I posted this resource today only, which is amazing resource for assignment 1. So please do review this one where it will help you around assignment 1. And then yeah, so every week here you will say I will be sending a welcome message for unit 1, unit 2, 3, and so on. I have created student partners. So now by this time you might have met your partner, which is where? Okay. I don't see here, hey? Do you know who's your assigned partner or no, not yet? You do, okay. For some reason, I'm not sure why it's not. Oh, okay. I might have.
Of your list there, if you go back to the bulletin, it was closer to the top. Assignment.
Okay. Assignment of partner. Okay, so that was just that was just the post about letting you know that you'll be assigned partners. Yeah, so this is the list of assignment of partners. And please do note that the partner that is assigned to you will remain your partner throughout the course. And I tried my best to assign you a partner based on your location, but it was a bit difficult for me, So like for example, Chelsea and Brianna, they are both from BC. I was able to, partner them. I think there are a couple other students are from Ontario. I was able to, partner them with someone from Ontario. So just try to work around your schedule in the time zone. What else here? So you know about the course text and materials that were posted initially. Now this is very important. Frequently asked question resource for students. So this when you open this document, it should be somewhere here. Yeah. So you will see there's so many questions. So the thing is, what we did actually, in our past course, in our like past classes, students have so many questions. So we compile all the most common questions that students have and created a document. This way, it will save you time to send us an email or send me an email. And so please do review this before you contact me if you have any questions. So that's about it, this one. And then ask question about the course. So if you have any question, general question, please do ask here so that your other colleagues can also see my response. Say as an example, if you have a medical emergency, right? Those things, please do email me. Don't post it here. Medical, if you're away, those kind of things. Here it's like a general question, like as an example, I have a question about the assignment template, right? Do I have to follow the assignment template? Then I might respond back saying, oh, this is a sample, but please do follow closely. So this way, if other students have the same question, they can just review that post. Okay, now about syllabus. You may already have reviewed it because we're almost like what, day number 5. So hopefully you did. And so here's the course labels. There's some important course information. Please do review this if you have not had a chance. And just a bio about myself, the work I've done so far, what I do. Unfortunately, there's no marks for that. Otherwise, I would set up a quiz and say, okay, tell me about me, and then you'll get 100%. Now, these are the course topics which you're already familiar with. Now, I'm going to move on to required materials. So this is our text, which is a required text, and this is available online. You all have access since you are MSCP students, Yorkville students. This is an optional text, but I would recommend, just to review this if you're able to. It has some good information. These are some reference text which are optional, but still recommended. And then assessment tool package. So the thing is, like, you can, for your assignment, you can use screening tools which are not copyright, but if you want to purchase it, you can purchase through Sigma. But to be honest, this is quite expensive. I was just checking. I think it's $88 or something. I was just out of curiosity. I'm like, let's see how much students will have to pay. So almost $100. So, but if you think, no, I want to purchase Sigma through Sigma, and I want to make so, feel free to do that. Otherwise, there are so many free screening tools that are available. Now, let's look at the graded components. So this is the 100% for the whole course. So discussions are 25% of the final grade. So sometimes what happens, students come to me and they're like, oh, okay, I did not do well in my first DQ period. And I tell them, well, because the only thing that might confuse people is it's out of 100. So when I grade your DQ, it's out of 100. But then this is only 25% of that, right? And then there are different, like there's a DQ period. So during that DQ period, I will grade it. So just don't get confused. Oh, it's 100%. Say someone got, say, 75 out of 100. Oh, I just got 75 out of 100. No, this is only 25% worth, right? So you can improve in other assignments. So assignment number 1, clinical intake assessment, it's worth 30%. It's due unit 2, which is end of next Sunday, right? And then assignment 2 is 15% of the final grade, and assignment 3 assessment results is worth 30%. Now, in terms of the discussion, there are a couple of things that I want to share with you. One thing is, so your discussion grade will be evaluated on each requirement below. So, and receiving a high score in one criteria does not equal an overall high discussion grade. So say if you receive 15% here, that doesn't mean that you got 100% up, right? It's just a 15% of that, confusing. 15% of that 100%, right? One thing I want to highlight is, like, this is the most common mistake people do when they lose marks here, is you have to make sure you spread out your posts throughout the week. So if you make a post on Monday and then you make 2 posts on Tuesdays, so that 2 posts will be counted as 1 post. So, and you may have taken other courses through Yorkville MSCP courses. So it's pretty standard. So, so make sure, say, do your posting on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 5 posting, you will get, I think, what, 15%, full 15%. You can skip, you can do Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Say you're quite busy, you don't get time, and you make your posting on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? So now you will give that 15% for making like 5 posts on 5 separate days, but you might not get like, or I would say your marks might get impacted because when you post it on Saturday, Sunday, no one responded back to you, right? So there's that active engagement which was missing. So try to make sure do your posting by Thursday, Friday, so that it leaves some time for other people to respond. So discussion posts will be graded based on quantity and timeliness, evidence of reading. So now here it's important that when you do your posting, you incorporate the required readings. I've seen in other courses is that students do excellent work. They quote excellent research material, external resources, but they never or they forget to quote their required text. So that's why they might lose marks here because they did not provide an evidence of reading the required text. Okay. So they might get great marks here, great marks here, great marks for the quality of writing, but they might lose partial, some of 20%, or if they have not quoted anything, they might receive a score of 0. So that's important. And you don't have to provide that evidence of reading in each and every post, but at least your initial post should reflect that you read the required chapters and you are citing them. Okay, next is rubric. So see here, 5 or more posts per topic, post distributed across 5 days, right? So and just make sure it's time stamped as per Atlantic time. So that might be a little bit challenging for some people, like people who are living in British Columbia, like Chelsea or Brianna, because we have to make sure. So it's 6 p.m., right? So it's 10 p.m. Atlantic time. So say if you make a post at 8 o'clock, say you make a post at 8:05, and you're like, oh, it's 8:05 p.m., it's Friday. No, it will be counted as Saturday's post. So just be mindful of that time. And what I've done in my Moodle is I've set up my time zone to Atlantic time. So you guys might as well do that if that helps. Okay. So some quick discussion about the policies. So MACP program and why you have some policies. And just want to let you know that we have to follow the policies. These are not my policies. I have not created. So we are expected to follow it, and we ask our students to follow it. So if for some reason you are not able to submit an assignment, please do reach out to me prior to the assignment due date. I have had students who reached out to me after the deadline because they assumed they did not read this piece. They were like, okay, I will be penalized only 3% each day. So, okay, so I'll reach out to Dr. Jan and say, okay, it's okay, I'm going to lose 3%. So just very important point here is I have to follow the policy as well. So if there are any extenuating circumstances, like you're sick, your family member's sick, please do reach out to me as soon as you're able to, so that I can somehow accommodate you. Now for learning support, these are some links. Please use those links. And I would just suggest just reach out to me, like just stay in touch with me, right? You know, if you're having any problem, just email me, message me in advance or around that time, not at the last moment or when you're not able to. And also I suggest that if there's something very urgent, please email me, because I can check email on my phone for the most part. Whereas in order to check message, I have to log into a computer. So that's about this piece. Now let me stop screen sharing and talk about a couple more things here. Any questions so far? Not yet. Okay, I'll wait. Okay. So just a reminder that when you act as a client, you're not to use your personal scenarios, as this is a learning experience. So make sure you're not sharing about your personal life, right? So that's quite important. And you could say, like, you could just use some of the information. You could say that you're in a master's program and you're experiencing stress, but then use other demographic information. Just not use your personal information is that, oh, I'm experiencing anxiety, depression, or something else in the past I experienced. And for assignment 1, when we talk about assignment 1, you may notify your partner of the general issue like depressive symptoms, but make sure you both pick different pathogenic issues, right? So you are a clinician or a counselor, and then you have a client as your partner. Make sure if you are picking anxiety, your partner, they are picking depression or something else, bipolar disorder, PTSD, um, and and just for the learning purpose, make sure you don't share the scenario in advance. Don't tell, okay, this is a scenario. I'm gonna say I'm depressed for 5 days. This like, don't tell your story, right? Because that won't be considered as a learning. Because obviously, sometimes it's nerve wracking when you're recording. So, and that's pretty normal. You will have a moment where like, oh, okay, I'm recording myself, and then it will be judged, reviewed by someone else, right? But I want you to understand that yes, it will be reviewed by me just to provide you feedback. It's not a judgment about, oh, how you did it, oh, uh, I asked a stupid question or I didn't ask this question. It's just for the learning purpose. Uh, and make sure for assignment one, your client is make sure your client is not having any active or passive suicidal ideation. However, you will incorporate a few screening questions regarding suicide risk. So you can ask some question, okay, uh, like, are you experiencing, are you having thoughts of suicide or self-harm, right? Those kind of questions, because we want to see you that you're asking those questions, but you don't have to like kind of a your client will will say, no, I'm not having suicidal thoughts at present or in the past. And for assignment one, all sections of the templates should be completed. So I'll get back to assignment number one in a second. And the thing is, so for assignment number 1 and 3, you have to submit video. And if the video is inaccessible to me, I'm not able to access it, I'll email you that say, hi, Maria, I was having a hard time opening the link. So you will have about, I'll give you some time, like 24 to 48 hours to respond back and say, okay, here's a new link or something. So make sure, stay in touch after you submit assignment, just check your emails regularly. Because if I'm not able to access your videos and it's more than 48 hours, unfortunately, I would not be able to score that part. Uh, and if you're using Zoom as a medium to record a session between you and client, please use gallery view, like the one we are reviewing, so that I can see both of you, like the client and the counselor. But sometimes some people, what they do, they hide self view because they get conscious, right? So I want to see both of you. And you can contact IT to have your Zoom time limits extended with your YU account. So if you think, oh, it's only 40 minutes, so just reach out to IT, say, I'm doing this assignment, and for this assignment, I need 60 minutes limit, or say something like that. Okay, what else? Yeah, so let me now pull that assignment one, just to go over it quickly. So yeah, just make sure for assignments, there's a copyright thing. Some people think, oh, it's available online. That doesn't mean that it's not copyright. Someone just uploaded it. So as an example, back depression and inventory, it's a copyright. So although people have, you might find several versions of it, but it's still copyright, so you cannot use back. However, there are several ones here. Like anger scale, adult attachment scale. If you're using depression and anxiety, you could use PHQ-9, which is Patient Health Questionnaire. It has 9 questions, or generalized anxiety disorder, which is 7 questions. Or you can find something like Hamilton Anxiety Scale, uh, but, but make sure you're not using a copyright material. Otherwise, it says obvious, it automatically, as per MSAP policy, automatically it's a fail. So these are some of those resources here. So we discussed about value 30% assignment one. And if you click assignment one here, it will give you all the instructions. And the best way to make sure you hit on each and every topic or the question that asked, I personally, what I do, I highlight things. So if you want to get good marks, if you want to make sure you don't miss anything, I personally, what I do is like I would copy and paste this in a Word document and I'll highlight what is required. So first of all, I'll just go through all these instructions and then I have to make sure I'm using clinical intake tool. So I've downloaded it personally. I'll download assignment one template, learning agreement, which is you don't have to submit it to me, but it's just for you and your partner. Yeah. So and then session reading skill. So that's how I've noticed that some people don't highlight and then they miss some pieces. Sometimes what they do is like they didn't use assessment one template. They're like, oh, I did not use it. So just make sure follow these guidelines. And now if you look at assignment number 2, have you had a chance to review these assignments in advance or not yet? Some of you did. Okay. So that's good. Oops. Okay, it's right here. Assignment 2 template. So same goes for assignment number 3. And I would say this is a very good text. So please find some time to review this one and see. This is important. So I would really highlight that the first video should be within 3 to 5 minutes and make sure to please keep it within 3 to 5 minutes. Because when we talk about like professionalism, how we're doing professionally, even like going 10, 15 seconds is it's not ideal. Although try to limit it within the 5 minutes. So, and then if you have any questions during this assignment, just reach out to me. Although all the information that you need is right here in this Moodle shell. Let's see what else. Okay. I think that was pretty much. Let me see if I missed anything that I should be letting you guys know. Yeah, so that's pretty much about it. Looks like we lost Chelsea. Yeah. So yeah, do you have any other question about the course, about the assignment?
I do have a question about assignment 1, just a clarification in the instructions. There is just a note like below the kind of the numbered resources, and it talks about like just leaning into symptoms to make the reason for treatment clear, and then at the very end it says note to the counselor, talks about these elements must be included in your screening during the intake assessment, even though you are aware that the client will not have them. I think is that just referring, I guess it feels a little unclear to me, but is it just referring to the fact that like we're coming with kind of an imaginary scenario and that the counselor knows that it's not actually real, but we need to include all of those elements that the client is presenting?
Yeah, so the thing is, a part of this assignment is just to teach you guys how to do initial assessment, right? So in that initial assessment, just make sure you follow the template provided to you. So that will guide you. For example, I have to open the template, but like I think there's a question about family history of mental health conditions. So maybe possible the client might not have any concerns like developmental history, but then you were to ask those questions, right? Because when we do, like, for example, I'm just going to give you a couple examples. When I do my assessments, I always ask them, is there any history of seizures, right? No problem, Chelsea. It does happen. I know technology. One day I think this technology will be solid. So yeah, for example, when I do my assessment, I always ask any history of head injuries or head trauma or seizures, because that's important, because that might impact people's like attention span and other abilities. So uh, same goes for self-harm. Question about any history of self-harm. And some people, they think cutting is self-harm. Only cutting is self-harm. It's not true. Self-harm could be anything. Head banging, right? So make sure you ask, oh, any concerns like self-harm? Have you ever self-harmed? And might say, yeah, I've done a few times. Now, what does that look like, right? Self-harm. It could be cutting, it could be head banging, it could be something else, right? It could be burning, right? So I think those pieces are quite important. Um, and then I would suggest review the frequently asked questions, review the templates, and then if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Okay, great. So what else? So I think, hi, Chelsea. So yeah, so that's just a quick overview of the course, and we will be staying in touch. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I will be participating in discussion forums. I did respond to a couple of you, and my personal approach is like I like to reach out to individual student and make my response post. I know a couple other students have asked me a couple of questions, so I'm slowly getting to their post. Uh, I think it was Maria. I think you asked me a question. I just made a response post today. So yeah, I'm really hoping that we have an engaging discussion. And just want to add one more thing about discussions is that, say, Brianna, you're having a great conversation with Chelsea. It's okay to have that ongoing conversations, right? It's okay. Uh, but and it's okay to have, you can respond back to me, right? So it's okay. That's also considered as a part of your post. So as an example, Maria responded to my post and then she asked me a question, or sometimes student provide me more details. Oh, okay, thank you for this. I came across an article which talks about this. So that's also considered as engaging discussion, right? So for example, uh, one of the students was talking about cultural competence, right? I think I responded to one of the students about cultural competence. And then I said, well, we use cultural sensitivity as a term now, right? So then the student can go back, dive in deeper and say, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I came across another article, the latest research. So that's also part of engaging discussions. Make sure the discussion is not just cheerleading in the sense, oh, hi, Chelsea, awesome pose, great. Uh, well, that's good, but then you won't be getting good marks for saying good, right? So make sure it has substance. Also, say in terms of like, as you know, DQs, right? Someone in the course, and you might have taken other courses, so just make sure DQ is not Dairy Queen, because when you might have heard for the first time DQs, you must be thinking, oh, we are getting Dairy Queens for our assignment. Well, no, it's discussion questions, but you can treat yourself to Dairy Queen after doing those DQs at the end of the week. Uh, Well, yeah, other than that, I hope you will enjoy the course, and do reach out to me if you have any questions, any concerns. I'm available most days, uh, and I'll try to respond back to it as soon as possible. Okay. So I'm going to stop the recording now, and then yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask me later too.